Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Dire Bear and welcome to Falskallan Nights. I am your host, the Bard with no name. Before we start tonight's session, I just want to say that I've missed you all. It's been a really nice week. The weather is finally starting to warm up, maybe a little too much for spring-wise, but that being said, it's a nice change of pace from the weather. But nonetheless, getting to see my players again after a really nice week really makes Hump Day just that much. That being said, speaking of getting over a giant hump, let's get to the ad read, Tom.
Well, thank you very much, JT, and thank you, adventurers, for once again joining us on Falskallan Nights. Much like me, Diamondback is sick tonight. Same with Yimmer, we think. We've been hit by some kind of poison from what I can only describe as a mutated dryad. In-game, I mean. I've probably got COVID, and while the plethora of vaccines in my system will help me fight that, Yimmer and Diamondback will be relying on our sponsor, D&D Beyond. Their platform allows us to keep all our campaign info and character sheets in one place. They've got extensive character creation tools, expandable nodes sections, and just about every sourcebook you can name. They've also got a handy search function that allows you to look up all sorts of conditions like grappled, paralyzed, poisoned, or tree herpes. So you don't have to spend minutes of precious game time sifting through those books like a nerd. And of course, if you want to homebrew your own horrific sicknesses, like tree herpes, you absolutely can right within D&D Beyond's DM tools. Here's hoping JT also homebrewed us some tree penicillin. Thanks to D&D Beyond for continuing to sponsor us. Or, if your malady requires a more musical solution, might I suggest our other sponsor, FX May Vary. They are a genre-hopping, hard-rockin', dice-rollin' band of magnificent musicians from Newmarket, Ontario, who've recently joined the rarefied air of Dire Bear supporters. They balance toe-tapping tunes with mental health advocacy, and two of their esteemed number are even in one of our D&D shows. More on that after the game. You can seek them out on YouTube, Spotify, and just about any place where music streaming is provided. You can also reach out to them on Facebook and Instagram. Their music is designed to be enjoyed by everyone and may promote feelings of happiness, an impulsive desire to move rhythmically, a desire to share with others, and a compulsion to follow the band on social media. As always, individual FX may vary. Of course, if you'd like to jump on the Dire Bear sponsorship wagon yourself, you most certainly can. Dire Bear has a bunch of new and improved Patreon tiers now, with a bunch of new and improved benefits, including Discord privileges, merch mentions at the end of our stream, and even a chance to get monthly voice acting lessons with yours truly when my voice is in a much better shape. That's right. If you'd like to learn the tricks I use to create Diamondback's charm and drawl, or the rocky brogue of endearing garnet, hop on over to patreon.com/direbearac and become part of the magic. See you there. Finally, if you want to show your Dire Bear support via some killer drip, the Dire Bear merch store has you covered. We've got shirts, we've got sweatpants, we've got hoodies, mouse pads, and more, all emblazoned with the roaring great Dire Bear logo. We also still have our Pride-themed Dire Bear tees with that lovely rainbow D20 in the middle, guaranteed to scare the hell out of bigots, nice guys, neckbeards, and Ron DeSantis. Remember, nothing attracts bears like Dire Bear. JT?
Oops. That being said, thank you, Tom, for all of that. I think we're pretty much ready to get into game. Anybody else have any objections? No? Well, let's do this. Well, welcome to Falskallan Nights. Last time on Falskallan Nights. Team Them tasks himself to go to the port city of Solness, the naval shipyard, and the main supplier of seafaring goods of all Falskallan. It's under a quarantine and a blockade from the military. Prepared and ready to go, the group teleported into Stoyalur, the sister city to Solness, connected by a singular roadway between them, warned not to stray from the road due to a standing deal with the dryads of the woad. With that information in mind, the team went into the Sylvanic Connection. The road following through the forest started to change, twist into something never seen before. The trees overthatched on the roads, over-enlarged and wildly overgrown. Hours into their trip, they came upon a caravan that looked like it had been attacked, bodies laying everywhere, gore and viscera. Slowly creeping towards the carnage that had presented itself. Suddenly, Ymir was attacked by a large creature emerging from a tree. Eyes dead locked right on, and attacking unrelentingly. Ymir found himself in dire straits, but with a lucky hamster ball forced upon him, found himself to get himself out of trouble out of himself. But with flies and wasps and knives flying through the air, Team Them had dealt a significant portion of damage to this heavily barked creature. But unfortunately, it had managed to escape through one of its trees that it had animated. During this time, there had been arrows fired from the tree lines, and it looked like the dryads of the woad had come in and helped. After a small dialogue from the ones with the woad, they had asked for them to come. Obliging, Team Them started following through. And at this point, you guys are now... So you're following through the forest, and you've been walking for a good couple miles now. You're starting to realize that a lot of the overpresence of the Fae that Spleen had originally felt is starting to fade away the further you get away from everything. And you're following these dryads. It's kind of quiet, and they're not very much not keeping a good conversation going. They're more or less just Charminar, game on. I'll see you Monday.
Fiddlesticks.
That being said, they're not keeping a conversation going. They're very much focused. Walking you through it almost seems random and sporadic, and like you almost seem to get yourself lost. Actually, I'd like for you guys to make nature checks, please.
Okay. I forgot my dice. Kind of need dice if we're playing D&D, don't
Dice in Dungeons and Dragons? What is this?
Everything else.
Math.
Ooh.
Poorly.
Yeah. What are we rolling?
Dice, hopefully.
Welcome to Falskallan Nights.
I
Chaos
died
has already
tomatoes.
ensued.
Definitely not rolling that. We're gonna use that luck point right now. Oh no.
No.
Oof.
Okay.
So what was it?
Perception.
Nature, I believe.
check.
Oh, nature.
Nature.
Oh, well. Starting off real good.
Okay, so Howard,
15.
Diamondback,
11.
Beatrice.
17.
Nice. Halsterian,
11.
11. Yim.
16.
Bringing up the rear, Spleen.
4.
Don't you have that?
Beautiful.
Don't you have that sense going on?
Oh. Well,
Or is that only for like?
that's a ritual. Well, wait, my feature?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on.
The commune with nature one?
Or or my background feature.
I was one of them. You were using it just before the fight had started.
No, that is a ritual spell.
No. Wait, then how were you able to... Oh, wait, no, you only did it every time you guys stopped for something. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I'm not doing it right now.
Right on. Anybody who rolled above a 15... It's not hard to keep a direction. You're basically going south, further into the woad, but all the overthatching and the growth is starting to turn back into an evergreen presence, and the snow seemingly is untouched. Keeping a long eye out, you do see what looks to be some deer just kind of grazing, and they're looking at you guys because you're not exactly keeping a quiet profile, but they're keeping their distance nonetheless. The wildlife seems rather unfazed and not bothered by a lot of you being here.
As we're going, Yuma would like to kind of check out the scenery to see if there's anything fun and interesting you could potentially scavenge. Like we're on the road already, so.
You're already in wild country, you might as well try, right?
And I've eaten some, so.
Hey!
Can I make a perception check to try and catch him in the act?
No. Well, okay, the question is, would Diamondback know that Yimmer would try something in this situation?
Even I would. Like,
then yes, you can make a perception check on that merit alone. Yeah, you guys make your rolls, and we'll do this.
my friend, natural 20. I find all the things.
I got 12 less than that.
A natural 8.
Yeah, natural 2, and then turned into an 8.
Okay, so you're just basically looking to see if you can find more mushrooms, right?
That or like other fauna that is exotic.
Fauna or flora?
Either one. Yimmer doesn't.
Either one.
It's on the ground or on some bark, fair game.
Given that, given one, it's a natural 20, and the fact that you're used to kind of rummaging through evergreen forests as it is, you know where to look and whatnot. You see a couple of what looks to be like pine trees that have sap running down the sides. It's fairly standard, really. Now that you're out of, well, for lack of a better term, the Fey area, you find yourself looking around. You see what looks to be small tracks from like very small creature, maybe a stoat, maybe a vole, field mice running through. A lot of the snow is untouched, and even looking at the dryads that are walking on it, they're not breaking through the snow. They're almost gently walking through and kind of gliding. That being said, finding any flora at this time of year has always been difficult to begin with. Normally everything dies off, especially in an evergreen setting where usually it's just the evergreens that are living. But you do find yourself a certain set of mushrooms. Alright, let's bring up the old sheet.
And no one sees me do this.
Well, you're looking. You're only looking. You haven't made any sort of...
Oh, I'm grabbing them.
Oh, for sure. We're gonna deal with that. We're just one thing at a time. Okay. So, actually, looking at the pine trees, you notice a couple of vines that are coming right up, and you recognize, oh, Sticky Wick.
Sticky wick.
Yep. Sticky wick. Oh, jeez. And Diamondback, even though you're kind of standing back, you know Yimmer just to be Yimmer enough to him be kind of like eyeing everything around. I wouldn't say he's not being obvious about it, but just knowing him, you're like, oh god. As soon as his head cocks and holds the position, you're like, target acquired. Shit.
How does it work?
Yim, maybe we should ask permission first.
Maybe. But they already know that
How loud are you having this conversation?
very quietly.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Excellent. 17.
Versus their perceptions. I've got too many tabs open.
That's why we have so many technical difficulties.
You want to try me?
Probably just eating all your RAM.
Actually. All right. So, what'd you guys get?
Oh, it was both of us. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, you're both having a conversation, not just one of you.
Yeah. That is
You
a 24 for me.
24, Humor?
17. Wait, was this sleight of hand?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, 17.
Cool. Diamondback, you're pretty good at covering your voice, or at least being able to throw it in certain ways and shapes. Not to a ventriloquist's degree, but your bardic training has allowed you to be able to control temper, tenor, and baritone. Yimmer, you think you're doing a good job.
I'm being quiet! Look at this stuff. It's all sticky.
Yeah, but look, I'm not usually one to quash down your shenanigans, but ain't that exactly what got you and me slashed up in the first place?
I was on the road. I did not break any rule.
So you're counting on the notion that having been punished for something that wasn't technically a transgression, they might be willing to make an exception in this case?
I don't see why not. We're not dead yet.
You're going to try and grab it?
Oh, yes.
Diamondback just sighs.
As we're locked eyes, it was just...
You start reaching for it, and I'm rolling in your sleight of hand with
Okay.
So the roll continues forward.
Okay.
You go for it. As soon as your hand almost touches, an arrow flies right, just close to your hand, penetrating the tree.
I was testing you. You have very good eyesight. Would you like your arrow back?
Just one of the dryads, another has an arrow knocked, and just dead eye.
Hi, I'm in.
You wouldn't want to touch that one anyway. It's poisonous.
With the arrow?
Sorry, that would be in Sylvanic if you don't understand it.
I say back in Elvish, you'll have to forgive him. He's got a bit of a compulsion. Wasn't trying to cause trouble or nothing.
I would like to give like a warning growl to the one that cocked an arrow.
So is that yes? Grab the arrow?
Don't touch the arrow.
Oh.
But Anshala, follow us.
But thank you.
How do we know that they're not just trying to lure us deeper into the woods just to, kill us so nobody finds our corpse?
Well, they attacked the thing that was attacking us.
Could be
Plus,
just two different sides to the same coin of evil.
I mean, we are also prepared to defend ourselves, are we not?
Yep.
Nominally.
Yeah, say that to stumbling over here. I just look at Diamondback.
Yeah, hey, look. I know I ain't exactly got as much durability as you do, darling, but if you'd taken the hit I had from that thing, you wouldn't be looking so great yourself.
I mean, worst case, I can just put you in a bubble like I did Yimmer.
Yeah, that was strangely peaceful in there. Until the bugs and all that were in there, but thank you.
Yeah. Don't try to cast inside it, it's not gonna escape.
Oh, okay.
So maybe next time, Goodberry? Oh, he doesn't know Goodberry. Never mind.
Okay.
I mean, it ain't exactly about the need, it's about the want that makes him snatch things.
Just think of the things you could do with it.
Yeah, the ones you were going for were poisonous.
No, they weren't. I've touched that stuff tons of times.
The
Sure, I feel a bit
people-
funny, but, not the worst
That
thing.
explains a lot.
Now, gotta test things out. How do you think I got this, nice white bit?
Old age.
Okay, I can't argue that point for him because I'm bad about that too.
See? Sometimes you just gotta taste, or lick, or touch, or, just eat it.
No, but this is a very strange area to be in. Growing up in the area, this isn't a place people go. Anything scary here?
That's a bit offensive. I think they're people.
You guys keep walking through, and it turns. You keep walking for another couple hours, having this conversation. And again, the dryads are just leading you along, not really saying a word, or if they do, it's usually just very slight conversation between themselves, just kind of figuring direction, or hey, have a little bit of food, a little bit of nourishment. That's about it. Eventually, sorry.
No, to anyone who notices, B declines food. B declines anything the dryads give her, and she's stepping in other people's footprints on the way up there. Hands still on her axe, like she's on edge.
Yeah. No, the dryads are not offering the food to you guys. They're offering it between themselves.
Mm.
That being said, coming closer and closer, you start noticing that they start sheathing their bows, and a lot of the guarded visage starts relaxing and becomes more open. You notice a lot of the bark armoring that had covered them starts pulling back just a bit naturally, as if it absorbs into the skin. And these women are, well, for lack of a better term, gorgeous. Just there's a very serene and graceful way they stride. Just it's almost as if they're hovering, gliding across the snow. Even though they're walking, it's soft in its own right. You notice that the trees are not evergreen anymore. They start turning more into just a plethora of a bunch of different ones. It starts coming back into oaks and maples and pines and cedars, firs, a little bit of hickory in there. And they turn around and say, Walkara Susua, or Welcome to the Grove. The Grove is oddly warm, and given it's in the middle of a cold winter, Like, it's really odd, but it feels very welcoming and warming. And it has a bunch of thatching and branches that create lean-tos into massive trees. And you notice that in these trees as well, that there are doors that are open and that lead to, like, inside of them. I'm talking trees that are a good 20 foot around. You are right in the middle. Something purely magical, and it's amazing to see. There's an open fire that seems to be almost into the center of a main square of trees that doesn't look natural and doesn't look very natural. It's not burning away you would think it would. It shifts from a blue to a green to yellows to another red, but almost to a vermilion. Then it shifts all through all these colors, and it's super quick. And no matter where you look at it, it always seems to change its color. It's almost like a light spectrum, more or less, or like a light prism spectrum that you're looking through. So nothing is ever the same. The more you look at it. The dryads that are here are looking at you guys because, well, let's be honest, you may be the first outsiders ever to make it here. And these women are basically going about their day. Some on a tanning rack, just doing their thing. Others seem to be nurturing plants to grow, tenders that for cultivation, maybe, who knows. Yimmer, you see a lot of mushrooms that are being, like, fertily cultivated, but they're not. Some of them you don't recognize, and it's kind of cool. And stuff that shouldn't exist anywhere else is here.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I know.
You have to ask.
Just laying candy in front of a child. Let's see what happens.
Ask him if I can have some of these.
Others.
Okay, maybe not now.
You look up and around, and you see what looks to be like some of them in the trees, just kind of looking down. They do have their bows with them, but they're more or less looking like they're in a watching position. Further you get into this place, you notice a giant ash tree that is not like 20 foot around, it's about 50 foot around, and it is growing right up. The branches just far reaching past the horizon, and you're kind of surprised you never noticed it until now.
Oh,
You're all seeing this, right?
Hold on. Everybody was speaking at once at that point. Pardon me? Steve?
Everyone else is seeing this, right?
Sure I am.
So.
Yeah.
I'm seeing something magical. How? So, like, I really, really need, like, some of those mushrooms and some of the other stuff. Never seen it before. Imagine what it does.
I mean, we can try asking, but after they patch us up, if that's what they're going to do, don't exactly know if we're going to have much in the way of favors to ask.
It's just growing here. It's just a mushroom. Like, I know I don't think it's just a mushroom, but they might think they're just everywhere.
If it were just a mushroom, Yim, I don't think they would have tried to put an arrow through your fingers.
Okay. Fair point. Guess I'll wait for now. Just
You could at least see if they have some for sale.
they use money?
There's one way to find out.
Trade
You
me.
walk by, you just see a hot dog vendor. Get the mushrooms! Get the mushrooms!
What's that guy saying? What's that in his hand? What is this? My God.
I had to. I'm sorry. As soon as you said cell, I'm like, all I can think about is a classic baseball hot dog vendor.
But all in Sylvan, so I can't understand.
Sorry. Salasola! Salansala!
The group that led us here, are there any among them who kind of like took on a leadership position or seemed to be the one in charge?
There's one who seemingly stands taller and with natural like branch antlers kind of coming out of her forehead, almost in like a tiefling style like horn setup. Just like up and in and like the I don't know, like I can't do it. I cannot do it, Captain.
Please tell me somebody screenshot that.
There's enough. There's enough screenshots of me on the internet. But no, she stands taller, and you notice that like she like her bark, the bark and leaf stylings are a little more like autumn, while the others are more like a summer green.
So
You kind of get the natural sense that she's the leader. Also, she was the one up front, not really dealing with the rest.
Yeah.
Of y'all.
So yeah, I'll approach calmly and carefully, still kind of clutching the wounds, and say in Elvish, appreciate you taking us here, especially considering doubt you do this to outsiders often. You mentioned that creature we fought was your sister. Mind making that a little clearer for us?
She'll reply back in Elvish. I am not the one to explain this situation, but I'm going to bring it to Dapari. She's going to heal you, restore you.
Well,
After that, you're going to see the Green Enchantress. That's all she says. You get a very stern and, like, obviously a distrust and disinterest in dealing with the outsiders.
fair enough. Either way, appreciate the save. It's a bit of a near-run thing, and I wouldn't want to be walking around with this for the rest of my days.
You guys, by the time this conversation ends, she leads you into what looks to be a maple tree that's, well, overgrown. Larger than anything you've ever seen within a natural sense of, well, the Falskallan reality. This maple looks extremely old. It don't like it almost it has this heavy bark and heavy bark that pronounces and protrudes itself super rigidly. You see the leader just kind of trace a door into this tree. As that happens, it splits itself right open, and she ushers you in. You guys head into it, and it looks to be almost like a classic apothecary shop. Just shelves and everything that have been carved out of this tree, but also a seemingly warm hearth right in the center. It's almost a kind of like a TARDIS kind of thing where it's bigger on the inside. Or it certainly feels that way. You notice a woman just over at a bench, just kind of mixing a poultice together. You don't know exactly what. Actually, Howard and Halsterian make a Arcana, or and I'm not too sure what this one would be. No, Arcana, because this is calling back on your studies.
Damn. 10.
Mr. Hal?
25.
25. You notice the disparity, like the viscosity of one of the liquids being poured in, and you think that doesn't look like that should work or blend at all, because another one almost looks like an oil-like substance. But as soon as it does, it starts blending, and it turns into this vile red substance, almost disappears, and then you just see what looks to be gases coming up, and as soon as that happens, she sets to like a cork pop right into like a glass vial and jar. Just, and you got to think to yourself, wait, how the hell did she get a glass jar? Nobody has the ability to create that stuff out there. That being said, she looks up and over, and you notice that this dryad woman, very much in the same like, where slender face, very rigid facial features, almost alien-like eyes, but they're piercing crimson, and not to like evil effect, but you almost sense of warmth from her. Looks at the group and realizes, points to both Diamondback and Yimmer. Hola, Sarsola. Casa Sola Mala. And she looks up at the other dryads that were there. And for anybody, it's still in Sylvan. It's those two have been marked. Give them to me. Are these ones? And the others look over. Ashan Suramana. Possibly. We're gonna take them to her after you deal with them. Kata Sua Sholoman Kasura, and starts ushering, like creating like ushering both Diamondback and Yimmer towards.
Like, how tall are these dryads?
They're tall. They're very like between. It would be between 6 and 7. It's very much like a lanky.
So yeah, Yimmer's just like
Yeah, you're
time.
basically
Being healed by the WNBA.
Diamondback, are we okay?
Don't speak the exact language they're talking in right now, but sounds like they're looking to heal us. I figure if they wanted to do us any harm, they had done it back when we were licking our wounds at the road.
Yeah. I hope that's right.
Yeah. You guys get ushered in and towards, and so she basically like bends down and leans over and kind of looks you over, Yimmer, notices all the scratch and impale marks, notices a couple of the thorns that you've been prodded with, and just hand on your chest, starts yanking some of them out. Just quick, swift action. I wouldn't say you don't feel it, but it's almost effortless how she makes it. Turns around, looks at you, Diamondback. Grabs your shoulder, spins you to your back. Kind of looks it up and down. Gives an assured nod. Turns around. Starts grabbing a bunch of different. Starts grabbing a bunch of different what looks to be roots and pre-made like poultices or other sort of remedies that you just don't know exactly what they are. Brings them. Pours it into like a mortar and pestle. Kind of crushes it down. Throws another thing. Throws in. Starts smoothing, and then comes out, and you notice that she's holding almost like a ball like a very soft ball of like smudge and whatnot. Again, bends down. Sasulam. In Sylvanic. Okay, who does speak Sylvanic? So, Halstarian is the only one. And it was like, this is going to sting. And...
Hey, Hal, what'd she say?
Deep
She rubs the salve right onto the wounds, and it stings for a good 30 seconds. Actually, I'd like for you guys to make a constitution.
All right. Sorry, check or saving throw?
Saving throw.
This dice was my.
All right. It's a 13 from me.
17.
Okay. It wasn't a hard check to begin with, but the pain almost numbs you and you almost become paralyzed for just a quick second just because of how shocking it is to the body. But after a bit, you realize, oh, this feels nice. Okay. Kind of like jumping into cold water where the shock sucks. But then when your body adjusts, it really helps. She looks you over, kind of like without any sense of boundary, just kind of starts like looking you over, getting real close, and kind of looks into the ear, thoroughly checking you over, just making sure that she didn't miss anything. It was like opens your mouth a bit, just but and does that to the both of you. Looks at the both of you and then says, "Sanan toi," which is, it's done.
Yimmer kind of does the same thing. Yeah. Thank you.
I'll translate the thank you.
So you translate it to them, or you speak Sylvanic to her?
I speak it to her.
One of the tongue. Rare for an outsider.
It was something I took great care in studying.
Your
Earlier
accent
in
needs a little
my-
work.
Certainly.
So then you've been paying attention to our conversations then.
When it seemed to be necessary, I've been trying to give these two directions when to be ready for a sting, as you mentioned earlier.
We'll see what she thinks of you. Hopefully you survive. And as she says that, she stands right back up. She stands right back up fully. Go with Trilla. She'll take you to see her. And Trilla comes in. Sorry, my landlord or parents or somebody upstairs is making a weird noise. Almost sounds like a makeshift howl.
They are the lone wolf.
Yeah,
One
you got
wolf pack.
now.
That being said, yeah, Trilla comes forward and she is the one that was leading the scouting party. Comes back up. Follow me. Suivez-moi.
This way.
All right.
You guys go right back out and out of this tree, being led through the procession of. Keep saying the word trees, but I just can't think of another word for it. It's just, you're walking through what is this grove. It is a set of trees. What do you think? But the procession seems to bring you right towards the base of this giant ash tree. And the scale you thought was massive coming in is vastly undermined to the point of almost absurdity that you weren't able to notice this before. Like how do you miss something this large, especially with the branches coming over? You guys get led. Eventually, as you reach the base, you notice everybody looking up. I'd like for all of you to make perception checks.
Crater.
Ooh.
All right. Howard?
18.
Nice. Diamondback?
11.
Beatrice?
7.
Bring it up the rear. Halsterian?
8.
Yimmer?
8.
Spleen?
23.
Oh, this is on brand for Spleen. This is definitely going to be on brand for Spleen.
Uh-oh.
Howard and Spleen. You both look up, and the rest of you don't really see it, but you notice that there is a much larger presence within the tree that you feel. And you're looking up and you see what looks to be globules of light kind of just shifting and moving at a sporadic rate, just kind of, lazily jaunting itself across the branches, and then just stops, goes another direction, and maybe shoots across. About that. But Spleen, Howard, while everybody seemingly is distracted by these things, you notice a woman walking directly down the tree, just as if gravity does not affect her whatsoever. The hair doesn't even doesn't even give the false pretension of like some sort of a spell just binding her to the tree. No, literally. She's walking down the tree as if you and I would be walking down a street. Coming closer, and you realize, oh, this is a very, very tall woman. You notice that these very deep teal coloring of the skin, as she's striding, it almost, again, like the other dryads, very much just wistfully moving along the tree and coming towards you. As soon as she starts getting closer, you start noticing, again, the same facial features. There's very much a familiarity to a lot of these Fae creatures, but there's odd differences that make it, that stand them apart. One of them is her eyes. They are a stunning emerald green, and then they'll shift to a yellow, black, back to emerald, and then the hair that you see grows back. They don't look like hair. It looks like almost vine-like, very thin layers of vines that have leaves kind of growing out of it. Steps closer as you get to realize is actually extremely tall woman, and like what she's wearing almost seems like a dress that is made out of the leaves, but it's not just individual leaves. They almost seem blend together, almost shifting in and out of themselves, hugging the form beautifully. Steps down, looks to Trilla. Are these the ones? Trilla kind of like does a half bow. Yes, Green Enchant. These are the ones. As she's looking through all of you, you notice that it's not just she's looking at you, she stares right through every one of you. Almost as if you were being judged, almost as if everything that you've done is put up on trial. just, it feels weird because the presence of just this creature makes you feel very, very small. Even though she's tall, you feel very small. She looks to Yimmer and Diamondback. They survived. Interesting. And like you see like the two Trilla and the green enchantress speaking to each other and almost seemingly in another language that you guys don't recognize. Switches over. I will speak to you in your tongue so that you understand my words and what I'm asking. We don't allow outsiders into our woad, period. The fact that you are here means that you survived one of our sister's attacks. I want you to take her out.
Why couldn't you take her out?
We are sworn not to harm each other.
See how that's working out.
Normally that hasn't been an issue or problem. We would talk our problems and everything. And it would work, but our sister of the well, Pomia, she started becoming more sporadic, more aggressive. It has only been late that she started attacking humans and everyone else outside the woad, past our agreement. And this needs to stop.
So this was just sudden. This is not some weird, like, infection or sickness or something.
We don't know.
Nothing about, like, Troll's Bane. Eh?
We don't know what you are talking about.
Well, I guess you're not the only folks that suffer from some sort of, like, weird sick
Affliction.
yeah. A good affliction.
Have there been any orcs or orcish creatures or unusual mushrooms that you've noticed in your forest?
Nothing enters this forest without our knowing. There hasn't been anything. There have been a few that tried to breach through the barriers. Some have. But our scouts deal with them. They're quickly found and dealt with.
The growth of everything around the road looked abnormal. Is that because of her as well?
I don't know. We haven't been able to get close to her. Every time we do, she runs.
How do we stop her from running?
You have to go to her, into her lair. We know where it is. You can't harm her. We are the Sisters of the Soul. That's the pact that we had made.
Could you, grab her and hold her, and then we stab?
I think that would count Yim as aggressive.
They don't have to look. They can, like, close their eyes or something.
We can show you the way, but we will not go in.
Do you know the way?
Is there any chance of reasoning with her? I mean, I tried reaching out when the whole thing started, but she didn't seem to be interested in talking.
I don't think she's able to listen anymore. We don't know.
Well, if I may, when we were in battle earlier, I did speak to her in Sylvan, and then I switched to Sylvan myself, and it seemed to get her attention.
As you start speaking in Sylvan, you see kind of like the eyes just almost as like in Sylvan. There he is. Back to common.
Nearly imperceptibly, but it did.
Man goes back to common. I don't like the idea of taking out one of my sisters, but I have to. Because if she starts attacking more people on the road, that means the deal is broken. And the rest of the world will come in. We would protect this woad from everybody. But I don't want them coming in. And I don't want them to have a reason to come in.
So as far as you're concerned, the pact still holds true.
The only difference is I've allowed you to come in. Since you're the only people who have actually survived an attack by her. And Trilla steps in. Well, there's one more. But she was taken by our sister. Another human woman, rather large, and she was screaming very loudly. Followed her to the lair, but that was it.
A human woman? Not a dwarven woman.
Human. I don't know why she took her. The green enchantress steps up. Normally, if our sister starts changing, becomes corrupted, we call them a spriggan. Ones that have become overthatched. I don't know if any of your lores have mentions of that, but this is all the information I can give. I'm willing to give. The rest of this is a secret,
How
and
many
you will
sisters?
keep this a secret. Sorry.
No. How many sisters do you have?
We have plenty. Many.
So this is a normal thing for you? One just goes a little crazy and breaks the treaty?
No.
Tell me
The sisters
this.
follow the pact of the soul.
She is the only one doing this.
But you got a name for it. Those that go, overgrown.
Overhatched.
Yeah. So that means it's happened multiple times if you have a name for it.
I believe there are
Oh,
multiple names for
inside
different
check.
people, even though it hasn't existed.
Inside check.
Okay. Roll an inside check.
Okay. Ooh, that's pretty good. That is a dirty 20.
Nice. You get the sense that she is definitely guarded. Doesn't really want to be speaking with you whatsoever. You're not sensing malintent, but you are sensing a very deep guardedness.
Would I be able to roll a history check to see what I recall of the lore around Spriggans?
I was actually going to ask the same.
I would say both Howard and Halstarian for sure. Actually, you guys can roll history checks. The rest of you, actually, all of you can roll a history check.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Hey, I think that worked out well.
Yeah, no,
Nat
it
20 for a 26.
26.
Ooh,
For
nat 20!
Nat
Sorry.
20 for Beatrice. Diamondback.
Ain't even worth doing the math. It's a 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but what does Beatrice's nat 20 equal?
Just 20.
I know I got a inspiration from you, Diamondback. Is it a 10? A D10 they usually give?
Yep, but that only lasts 10 minutes from the.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Actually, roll a d20.
Oh,
With spleen, no.
it's a 9.
Nope. It's gone. Howard.
16.
Nice. Yimmer?
I'm living.
What was that?
9.
9. And then spleen.
15.
15. Okay, so Halsterian, coming from it from an actual academic standpoint, Spriggans haven't mentioned every once in a while in somebody mentioning in a monster hunt would come back with like a heavily overgrown arm that seemed to be bark covered and whatnot, and it was more or less just written that you had seen. So these definitely existed outside, but they weren't necessarily dryadic connected, from what you could tell. But then again, a lot of the logs were sparse, incomplete from what you'd seen.
Okay.
Beatrice, a lot of what you hear is from the folklore perspective. More or less, you know not to stay anywhere near close to tree line that comes with it. You hear stories that every once in a while, kind of like an old wives' tale, you don't if you see a spriggan, you have a piece of willow with you just in case to kind of ward it off. But other than that, it only been mentions. Anybody who'd come in and say that they'd see a spriggan, they can never really prove it because, well, they didn't have any physical evidence to say otherwise. That being said, it was also thought of that if you ever saw a spriggan, it did bring you good luck. That's about all you know from that. The rest of y'all, you've kind of heard, like, within the mythology or, like, legends or fables of somewhat ancient creatures. A spriggan would come up every once in a while, but more or less kind of like as a bardic's tale. More or less used as the antagonist of the story for the hero to come in and win the prize. That's all you know. She turns back and says to you all, I don't like the idea of taking out one, of killing them. They don't deserve this, but they also don't deserve to live in that kind of a form or corruption.
there's no way to reverse it.
She just stares at you. If there was, we wouldn't have you here.
Yeah, that is kind of a stupid question, isn't it?
She looks at Diamondback and Yimmer. She went after the both of you. Which one did she focus on?
That would be me. I stayed on the path, but there were mushrooms on the path. And I took the mushrooms on the path. I cannot stress this enough, they were on the path. And, I guess she took exception to that?
Did you eat one of them?
Yes. It was tasty.
You're lucky you survived. You're lucky that we've healed you well.
Oh, I've had much worse mushrooms.
I'm not talking about the mushroom.
Well,
If you touch anything that the corrupted sister had created, she would go after that one thing relentlessly.
so now this makes a bit of a conundrum. What if a rabbit eats one of them? Will she go after the rabbit?
Did you see any rabbits around?
No, I'm just saying like like a bird. Like, let's say I grab a bird, stuff a mushroom in it, and then let it fly away.
He's got a point. Like, how does that work? Like, how do you know?
But why?
This is a very cruel hypothetical.
Why?
Well, I've done
What is-
worse.
What?
It's true, he has.
That worries me more.
I'm trying to straight faces. You're not helping.
Pickle juice. Pickle juice.
Go to the corner store and get pickles right now.
Yeah.
we'll be right back. Technical difficulties.
The druid enchantress just all of a sudden, like a vine from the tree comes down with a pickle, and she just starts eating it while watching.
Look at this beautiful thing that I've created myself. I call it a pickled gherkin.
I eat these when I'm stressed.
And I have indeed stressed. Man, I put the fate of my sister in the hands of these buffoons.
Best not to touch anything of hers. Unless you want her ire.
I'll tell her to put her freaking name on it.
Yeah.
Then you will die. If you
Thanks
wish
for
to test me,
helping.
fine. But testing her, I watched you all almost die from it. If it wasn't for my sisters, you could have been left.
I'm for helping.
Oh, man.
Well, yeah,
That
I'm all for
thing-
helping.
I say
Yeah,
that thing.
fine.
If she's slaughtering people that are trying to seek refuge from one city to the other, we already have enough problems going on with Trollsbane and the White Hand. We want this road to stay open, and if helping them helps that, all the better.
Yeah, I'm just helping because of what he said. And, it wouldn't have killed me.
Spleen's pretty durable. How far away is this lair?
She looks off in the distance, and for those who rolled well on their nature previously, you know that she's looking in the direction of the lair. About 10 miles.
That far? I'm probably there today.
At this time, it is about mid-afternoon. You guys did encounter this, what was it? Seemingly mid-morning, if I remember correctly.
It
I
sounds
thought
right.
it was evening.
Should we?
I think it was evening because we were going to bed
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Oh, so
Was
then
it?
yeah, you guys. Oh, then this
Oh,
is
you're right.
then
No,
then the sun
night.
is has already set, and so you see.
Yeah, okay.
Can
So
we
is it-
rest here?
We will give you a couple of poultices, fend off the poison. You were hit by a driver's poison. That is something that our scouts use, especially against unwanting prey. people that enter the thatch and the woad. Stops them from healing, and we've got other methods to deal with you. That being said, if you wish to stay, you can have accommodations. Don't expect hospitality, though.
Oh no. We by no means. We can fend for ourselves. There's no need for that, but just that we are welcome to remain in the area for the night.
Mm-hmm. We will be watching over and making sure that you're not disturbing the local wildlife and the flora.
Understandable.
Kind of a half-cocked look at the Yimmer, since this one's propensity to eating wild things off the ground might get you into even more trouble.
So, about those mushrooms you have growing around, are those like for sale? Trade? Or just because they're there?
She starts switching over to Sylvanic and just says, Trilla, Dielbata, Amavalis, Lacoma. Take these ones to the guest huts. We'll feed them, and in the morning send them on their way. And you'll send some of your scouting party with them to show them where to go. When they're done, we'll have a talk with them. Understood? You see the scouting party stand up straight. Yes, Mistress Asker.
I'm just gonna get Bree out so she can see the cool tree.
You'll pat.
Make a perception check, Spleen.
Okay. What? Natural 20. 25.
Wow.
As you pull Bree out and you're like showing her around, you start noticing that all the dryads are looking at Bree. Not like angrily. There's like just this one moment where you see their guards are completely down there and like, it's so small.
You want to pet her?
As soon as you start acknowledging it, they start standing back up straight and gaining their composure again. Just
I guess not. I don't think they. I don't know if they like. How can you not like? Oh.
you start seeing the green enchantress, and then she looks up. I wish you good luck. Starts almost floating back up the tree. In a sense, and kind of turning around, reaches her arm out. You see a couple of the blue lights just kind of twirl around her arm, her fingers kind of bringing up to the arm and just kind of hovering and then shooting off. Like
What the
some of the branches or the smaller branches kind of like being influenced by her nature, just coming closer and gently playing back to her beckonings. It's almost beautiful in its own right.
Ew.
So I guess they didn't like the mushroom question?
I'd just leave that for now.
Hmm.
And maybe forever.
But they're right there.
Yeah,
It's gonna be so hard.
yeah.
A couple of you
but-
feel what looks to be like the butt end of a bow kind of poke your back.
Oh.
Follow me.
I just got a healing poultice there.
Yeah,
wait,
maybe
so
a
sh-
question for after we.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good idea. So, like, is the sister still after me? Probably should have asked that.
I mean,
think he'll
Like that-
be okay here.
That's
I'm
why I
not
was
sure.
asking about a bird. Like, if I go one way and a bird goes another way, like,
Wait,
Is it
I
just
thought I killed
stuff?
it.
no,
Oh,
she went to like a tree.
But I ripped the tree.
There was more than one creature. I'm not really sure what you killed, Spleen. Kept
Besides,
stepping into the surrounding terrain.
I hate magic.
It's just weird. I don't get it. And then she looks at Spleen and tries to think.
She's just picking her nose right now. Looking away.
I want to like shoot a message over to Beatrice, doing my best Spleen impression to go. Think about cracks. Think about food. Think about killing things.
Does B know it's Diamondback?
I don't know. That's the thing.
Oh.
That's deception versus insight.
That's pretty much that. Yeah.
Performance.
No, it'd be deception.
Performance makes sense.
That's a natural one. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's
And the
right.
deception roll is a 32.
Oh my god. Yeah. Sound,
Okay.
it almost sounds like spleen. Maybe it is. Whatever. Spleen.
It works. All you can
That's
hear, I guess, because it messages back, and she's like, "It's working! Oh my god, it's working! Am I magic now?"
But you guys are walking
my
at this
brain.
point. You guys are walking at this point, and you notice the guards kind of bring you into one tree. It's
Is it on a hill?
yes, it's a tree on a hill.
It's a one tree hill.
No,
Oh my God.
there's at least 4 of them there, and at least one of them is named Rebecca. And one has like a Karen do, even though it's a tree. Just
But there's a
Other one's got a
topiary.
mullet.
Yeah. But I end up getting close to a tree, and I can't think of words right now. She again, Trilla raises her hand and creates what almost looks like a door, and as that happens, it opens right back up. You guys get ushered in, and you find your quarters for the night. Again, it's very much the same as Daiparti's apothecary shop, or apothecary, where she, like, it's bigger. It is bigger on the inside, but it almost looks very cozy and warm, homey. There are individual bunks that have been carved into this tree. So you all have your own bunks for the night, and it is very warm in here. You notice that there is a platter of fruits, nuts, some vegetables. It is vegetarian, but
Hippies.
yep.
Not a single mushroom. These guys. What do they do with them?
I get the feeling that's something they don't feel inclined to share with the likes of you and me, and probably less so now, not gonna lie.
They'll warm up to me. Everyone always does. Right?
Would you look at the time? Looks at his watch that hasn't been invented yet.
It's on your wrist.
Would you look at the moon cycle?
Yeah. I mean, look, partner, I love you. Pretty sure the rest of the group does too. Beatrice might not have had a chance to get to know you too well by now.
She shouts over, "I like you!"
Thank you.
But, well, not everybody's gonna like you. That ain't always gonna be your fault.
I guess that makes sense. Killed enough people, and I don't kill friends, so I guess not everyone's my friend. Okay,
You do make friends pretty easy, though.
thank you.
I
wait,
mean, literally make them. Like, you stuff shit in their bodies.
I know that.
What is that?
I just learned, like, just happened, and then I did it again, and I realized I could do it a bunch.
It's the fact that you kept on doing it after the first time that kind of disturbs me, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, what were you trying to do to that poor bastard?
You know, it was either we get caught with this guy who basically overdosed on mushrooms from me, and I didn't want that. I thought he was alive. I thought I was, doing the thing where I smack people, put some stuff under the nose, and they go, "Hey, I'm alive." And, it just didn't work. So then, the magic sack provided, and I just stuffed it in.
I mean, yeah, you realize that the times you healed me and others with that weird shit, we weren't already dead.
Yeah, well, that's why that stuff works.
Wait, that's a magic sack?
Yeah. And Yimmer pulls out his... I guess he's never done this. It's kind of like a mossy, pulsating, moving sack. Kind of a greenish-brownish.
Can I poke it?
Yeah?
She pokes it.
It's pulsing?
Is it
Why is it-
squishy?
Yeah. Kind of like moss. You ever find, like, where do you think I get all my stuff? Like, I have lots of pockets, but,
You've been
Please tell
carrying
me
that
about-
around the entire time we've known you?
yeah, why do you think I keep reaching in?
Squishy.
A
Because it's a
component pouch
pack.
or...
This is my component pouch, and B whips out her axe.
Hell yeah, sister!
Not a
Or just
perfect
throws
analogy, but I
hands
like
up
where your
and
head's
walks away.
Wait,
She puts the butt
please.
end of the axe in the mossy pouch.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know what would happen if you tried to stuff that in. Like, I've put a lot in there, and it's certainly a lot smaller than it should be for all this stuff I put in.
Is
all
it like mine? And then she whips out her bag of holding,
what's
and then
that?
just starts chucking her bedroll and a whole bunch of other things. Just some random bones, some skulls, some jewels, just whipping shit out.
Well,
Like this?
My brain.
I don't know what's in here. She even puts her head in. I don't know. I just have it.
I guess.
I think it was Gumpy T's at one point, and now it's mine.
God, it was his.
Yeah.
Oh
It's about
no.
you probably didn't
what's in
recognize
it?
it.
That's why I picked it.
It's,
There's probably still stuff in there that you don't even realize there is.
Oh,
Put your
no.
hand in there and think about something. It might come out. It just does that sometimes. I don't know.
Okay. Yimmer reaches in, thinks really hard about a mushroom sandwich.
That doesn't come out.
Oh. So yours is kind of like mine, except when I do that, it's it's either something that makes people go a bit loopy, or the bugs and all that. But if I'm not doing that, then it's normally like the moldy cheeses, the moldy breads, the moldy fruits, moldy vegetables.
Takes a
Molds.
moldy fruit and sticks her hand in and pulls one out.
Yeah, it's an apple that is long past its due date.
Oh,
The fact that it's still kind of juicy is very gross because you don't remember ever putting an apple in that thing.
can I have that? Or can the sack have it?
She puts it in the sack.
Oh no!
We're just comparing our sacks.
Yeah,
What
my
a sentence! Yeah, that's
I love my
kind-
group. I love my group. I love my group.
It's just internally like, we never ever want her to know. She can just flip it inside out and dump everything out.
I'm just gonna look over it. Oh, sorry.
So yeah, the sack just likes kind of old and, moldy things. And it just seems happy, and it gives me stuff when I need it.
Oh.
And that's how I started making friends. I needed something, and I didn't even know what I needed, and it just did it.
Whoa.
It's a magic sack.
Yeah, kind of. Well, he talks to me now and then, but not too often.
You never mentioned that part before.
She holds the bag up, her bag of holding up to her ear. Do you
What?
talk to me? Hello?
There's just a voidless emptiness when you speak into it. There's almost like an echo,
Hello,
but it's
hello,
like
hello, hello.
it's like it echoes once. It's like hello, hello.
Mine doesn't do that. It's weird.
Well, that sounds remarkably like for Yima. You know what? Never mind.
Honestly, I didn't think it was the sack. I thought it was just, sometimes you talk to yourself, sometimes something in your head talks to you, and sometimes you have a big group conversation. Right? Everyone has that, right?
Yeah, but mine are animals, so not really a lot of conversations happening.
That's way cooler.
I'm going to bet it isn't the sack.
And see,
It might be
that's
something
kind
in
of
the
like
sack.
that's why I never mentioned it. I didn't know if it was the sack or,
If there's
Or
a sentient
you're
mold
like crazy.
in the person, you'd tell us, right?
probably.
Did you put a person in the sack?
Oh, what if I put one of my friends in the sack? Would you like that, sack? Would you like that? Would you like a friend?
No.
Oh yeah. Speaking of things to put in the sack, and he pulls out the smiley wand.
Mm.
Just can't
Oh
handle.
no.
Just can't. Don't know why, but I just feel like it should go in the sack. I just don't know if I'll get it back. So yeah. Here we go. And it's now in the sack.
It's now in the sack. Congratulations, you put a wand in a sack.
Giggity.
This conversation goes on for a long time into the night. You see that the campfire, the fire that's in the center of this room, just kind of dim a little bit as the evening moves forward. Who's taking watch?
Before we take watch, Howard's putting up an alarm and a dome. Just in case.
Or, I mean, who's taking watch if watch is being took?
I
Beast taking a
will.
watch.
I'm taking a watch, and if I do a watch with B, I want to reach into the sack and think of an item, and I want to think of the volume of the lusty Leonian Maid.
My God.
I mean, like, this is kind of like did
I don't got
Tobias
pickle juice. I got all of them.
do
I got all of them. So let's
I
go.
can see B and Spleen being like, fangirls of just and like,
Like
God.
Zeus's
Written
favorite
by-
book.
Written by Anonymous of the Great Nation Tumblr.
yes. Yes.
That is not a thing. It's not canon. I'm not accepting this. I hate every single one of you.
I love fan chronicles so much. So good.
The worst part is you actually get the book.
I didn't put that in there. I didn't put that in there. That wasn't me.
Oh, you got good taste. I can't read. I just look at the pictures.
It's a rather old version of the book, even though... Wait, how the hell do you know about books, Spleen?
I look at the pictures.
Yeah, there's like
you were,
picture books
you were
in
read
there.
this as a child. Wait.
My bedtime's day.
Ah, food for
Spleen
thought.
and B's whole watch is just us trying to make through a page in the book. It's just us trying to read it. There.
I am not
Please.
describing this.
Was.
It is very poorly spelled. There's not a lot of grammatices into it, and even the descriptions of the beginning do not make a lot of sense. The proofreader did not do a good job.
Oh, it's like a Fabio book you get from Walmart.
Oh, what's worse about drinking olive juice is the fact that I've got a canker in my mouth and it's not helping.
Oh.
Me too!
Oh
Twin!
no.
Ow.
Mistakes. Oh.
That being said, you're so who's doing what watch at what time?
I'll take ladder watches. I'll get my 4 hours in, and then spend my watches working on the spell, but not attempting to use it, considering where we are.
Make a sleight of hand
good.
check.
Oh.
Well, no, if you're doing the theory portion of it within your book, you actually no.
Yeah, like he'll play with the, on paper stuff and do a little bit of, tracing sigils and stuff in the air, but not full blown attempting to cast it. Just like studying how he can manipulate the weave with specific pieces and parts of the spell.
Okay. Make your Arcana check. I believe it's at -3 now. You're not casting it, so there isn't a dangerous component to it.
Ooh. Well, it's a good thing there's not a dangerous component to it, because that is a grand whopping total of 11.
Given the day's actions and everything that you've come upon, the fact that you're now within a place that theoretically you shouldn't be in here, you find that your focus isn't exactly top notch at this point.
It distracted.
Yeah, so at this point you kind of take a loss as a loss and call it there for the night.
Yeah. Can't focus. Maybe not the best time. Closed book.
Yeah. Exactly. Beatrice and Spleen do Beatrice and Spleen things. Anybody else?
I'm getting my beauty sleep.
Yeah, I'll take one.
You do you, boo. I'm proud of you. I spit out a bunch of bees and they got blinded. I don't care.
I guess Yammer will take the last watch with Diamondback
Right on.
and fight every urge to go out and pilfer things.
That alarm, by the way, is set for you to trigger it.
He doesn't know this.
I know.
So, the sack talks to you.
Not a lot, just, sometimes it says, like, over here, over there, look out, that looks tasty.
Has it always talked to you?
I think so.
Hmm.
It's not like I took it out of the ground and then it started talking to me. I just took it out of the ground, and I don't know why I took it out of the ground. I don't know. Just kind of woke up with it. And every now and then I lose it, and then I just have to go into like a little mossy area and just grab it out, and there it is again.
What does it think about me?
Likes you? Like, it doesn't really talk to me that way. We don't like, gossip or anything.
Hmm.
I guess I can ask it. Hey! And he's just kind of opening up his coat, jacket. What do you think of this guy? It's pretty kind, no? It's kind of nice, right?
Yeah, it's kind of okay.
Oh! I think that one's sitting a bit funny in your throat.
Shut up.
Thought that would put a smile on your face. Guess not.
You never keep a smile on my face. You keep shoving more shit in me.
That's what she said.
Well,
You say that on camera now, Missy. You dare say that from behind the black screen? How dare you? The gall.
So yeah, guess it likes you. Like, not to the point where it wants me to shove you or parts of you in it, but
I'm okay with that. As in, I'm okay with you not putting parts of me in there. If you do put parts of me in there, I am distinctly not okay with it.
You just see like a red, slight mist just come out of it. Just
That happen often?
Yeah. Well, it's been happening a bit more, but wasn't a thing before. Kind of since, the red stuff started coming out and I started making friends.
Yeah. Well, I just want to keep an eye on that. Anytime something goes red, if it hasn't gone red before, that's medically not usually a good sign.
Can't thought of it that way. Just thought it was like, ready to go. Let's get at it.
right on. So you guys, the morning starts coming, and you notice that the fire within the middle of the hut starts raising back up again, kind of rousing the rest of you. I assume you leave.
Oh,
No.
it's time to go.
Does the alarm get triggered when Yimmer leaves?
Yeah, only you, Yimmer. It was very specific. Everybody else just walks through it. Yimmer.
Take one of those store things.
Step away from the fungi.
This is an intruder. Woo!
Dryad force. Officers have been dispatched.
Put your hands in your pockets.
Keep your hands in your pockets, sir.
Well, yeah, that's where I keep my things.
Bad Yim. Once again. Tom's is like, fuck, I didn't think of that.
Got a hand in my bolo tie.
I've now reduced it 25% more. No, you guys walk out and you start seeing the sunrise, and it's odd. It's beautiful because as soon as you go out, you don't see like a classic, like deep, like a deep red that turns into an orange to a yellow, and then the blue skies start coming in. It's almost this mystic. It's like a mystic green with a crimson vermilion floating right through it. Well, from descriptions of what you've read about the Fae, almost sounds like that. It almost looks like that. You step out and you see two of the guard that are there, just kind of watching over the hut, stand at attention, look at you, kind of just give you a head nod to follow. You head back. You head back to Departre's tree, where she has all of her apothecary stuff. She looks. You guys walk in. You realize that she already has a bunch of different vials set up and ready to go, and hands each of you one of these. You're not too sure what's exactly in there, and she says in Elven, "This will help you against the poison of our sister. You should be able to heal. But use it wisely."
Is that uncommon?
No, that was in Elven.
He just shakes it.
Yeah,
What is
it's
it?
like it almost looks like the salve that was plastered onto Yimmer and Diamondback. Oh yeah, by the way, you gained a full rest. You heal your points.
Yay.
Yay.
Diamondback and Yimmer, you heal your points.
Thank you.
just really emphasizing that point.
Wake up! Why do I have branches?
Is this normal? You just see like a little sapling.
Looks down the pants. Oh no!
My shrubbery. The viscosity of this liquid is still very thick, but it's the same color as the poultice that was put on Yimmer and Diamondback. It does shake back and forth, and you see what looks to be little bits of root and whatnot kind of swirling and moving around very slow. It's almost, it's almost like a not so runny molasses.
Humor
She
kind
looks
of
at-
holds up, like, and makes the motion, like, eh? Or, eh?
Drink it
That's
in
uncommon.
Elvish.
What?
She says,
don't,
"Don't drink it."
What are they saying?
don't drink it? Say, eh? Yes?
You get ushered out of the hut.
What is it? What does this do?
You rub it on your hurt if the tree puts its needles into you, and then it lets you be healed again.
Okay.
Literally in my inventory, I put one anti-poison ? From Tree Lady ?
I mean, to be fair, that is a very that is an accurate accurate description, given that there's been no description of it happening.
It's all in Elvish or Sylvan,
Yeah.
and
I don't
these
know,
like
it's all Greek to me.
Yep.
That being said, Trilla walks up. Are you ready to go? In Elvish. You get the sense that they do not know Common.
Yeah.
They're not going to speak Common to you. The fact that one of them did is a miracle.
he speaks Dwarven to her. Where are we going?
Just covers the ear. Yimmer, you get it.
Yimmer says in Dwarven, yeah, that's a good question.
Seem to be speaking weird tongues, so why don't we speak back in weird tongue?
Yeah, really?
God, what are they saying?
I don't
Oh, it sounds
understand
so
a goddamn
terrible.
thing.
They are not. Their ears are not attuned to your language.
Obviously. Oh, it hurts. All right, let's take you. And you guys start heading on your way back into the forest. I would like you guys to make survival checks, please. At advantage, because you have somebody who has a favorite terrain in this.
Reader.
Hmm.
19, but it was cocked.
Mm,
12 from me.
Same.
12.
Same.
Beatrice?
17.
Hal?
12.
12. Jeez. Him?
2.
2. At advantage?
Oh, yeah, but okay, maybe you're not.
I was going to say, that's impressive.
If it wasn't an advantage, I would have had a dirty 1.
16.
Thank you.
Okay, and spleen.
9.
What?
9.
Actually, what time are we?
9!
Oh, okay.
9.
It was just like, I guess I heard the echo from Alyssa there, and I was like, oh, maybe no. You guys, because you're being led by a couple of the scouts, and especially Trila, she's weaving you through this forest and at a pretty good pace. You guys don't seem to get lost, and as much as you get the sense that they really don't appreciate your presence around, they're actually kind of helping you out with some of the more harder parts of the forest, because you start leaving the grove, and it starts getting cold again, and it is a very crisp morning. It is unrealistically cold during this day. That being said, some of the downed trees and the natural, like the foliage that has come and grown over it, and some of the thick densities of the woods, she leads you around, or she'll she'll influence the forest to kind of open up for you guys to move through. And eventually you make it back to the Sylvanic Connection, and to where you guys had found the caravan, and you start coming back into what looks to be this overgrown, like super overgrown and super like almost fey looking place. As that happens, she comes up to the corpses of some of the fallen traders, kind of looks down, examines the area, just seeing if there's anything new that has happened with these bodies since. Looks down. Looks to you guys. Kind of gives a signal to go.
So the bodies are there.
Yimmer, no
Hey.
touching. You know what happened last time you touched something? No touching. No touching. Swats his hand.
I was just gonna make a friend. No?
It might be like she might have touched, created. I don't know. Weird. Don't touch it.
But then I could stuff a mushroom in it and have it run one direction.
You see, picture this with more random kinky sex, and this is exactly what I had to deal with for 4 months.
Fine. Won't. No cannon fodder. Fine. No friends. Fine. Let's go.
Moving through, you see that there are like natural pathways within this heavy overgrowth. And these trees, some of them are what look to be tiny saplings that are the size of Yimmer. It is incredibly weird just seeing something like that. Then the big trees are just even bigger, gnarled branches, larger than life leaves, and these are like different types of fauna that are not of this plane. It's not natural that they are here. You would think that maybe some of the did I say fauna? Flora. The fauna in around the area seemingly has taken on some of that Fey aspect stuff, where you notice that there are a bunch of birds that are still flying and floating around. Some are black, and then they'll change into an orange one, but then have 4 different sets of wings. And as soon as they scream, it doesn't do a chirp; it just kind of does like and keeps going.
How tranquil.
I don't like it.
That being said, you keep moving forward. You see Trila, like the armoring that you had met her in, fully on, mask up and in, and like the tree branch horns kind of pulled back and subdued, almost creating what seems to be like a helmet. And a couple of her other sisters that are there doing the same thing, smaller in stature, but very much following suit. Bows drawn with the arrow knocked, but not pulled yet. So not expecting anything, or expecting something, but keeping a very long eye on like tree lines and horizons and whatnot. Like for you guys to make perception checks, please.
Hmm. 17.
17, Diamondback.
19.
Beatrice.
22.
Halsterian.
5.
Yimmer.
14.
Lean.
15.
Beatrice, your natural anxiousness and weariness of the dryads, especially even though they've shown limited hospitality, is really heightened your sense of your surroundings and areas. Even though some of the tree lines are almost a pure wall foliage, you still just get a sense that you're being watched. And you notice that Trila and the other ones and the other dryads are almost acting in the same way as you are, where there's just a sense of uncomfort and unease. And even like the foliage that Trila and the rest of them produce are kind of warping differently than what you saw at the beginning. Almost as if they're almost being influenced by this, but not really.
Keep your eyes up. There's something fishy going on.
I think I agree with you.
I would like one of you to roll a D100 for me.
A D100. Who's rolling?
I got it.
Go for it.
All right, 107.
17.
Wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be 17.
What was this?
Really? With the double O?
No, that would make it a
Oh, that
7.
was
It's a 7.
Oh, so
yeah.
yeah. Never mind.
So that would make it a
J-
7.
Yeah,
Okay.
James Bond.
Alrighty then. You guys, moving forward, you see the scouting party just stop, look around. They all point to you, or Trila turns around, points to you, signals you to come close. Like all of you.
Okay.
Says in the most broken common that you could think. Land. There. Quiet. And then just gives up. Their lair is over there. Remain quiet. Maybe this will help you.
Clang, 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 clang.
Maybe this will help you. And you grabs. She goes into what looks to be like a woven, like a linen woven pouch. Pulls out like this black substance. Signals every one of you over. Like one goes to Halsterian first. Come here. Does a smudge right across the forehead. A line following right down the nose. And then 2 dots right above, like intersecting both lines. As that happens, she just says, Sansura, which is, may the shadows help you. As that happens, you start noticing that the shadows around you start creeping in a little bit closer. And she starts doing this to every one of you, and the other 2 start doing the same thing to the rest of you. You guys are now under under the influence of Pass Without a Trace.
Nice.
While they are doing that with us, I'm gonna sit down and start ritually casting telepathic bond on all of us.
Alrighty.
Nice.
Start doing that. Sorry.
Nope.
You start doing that. She does the same thing to you, Howard, as that happens. And then turns to Halsterian because they know they can communicate with him effectively. This is as far as we go.
Understood.
Can't go any further.
I'll relay that to the rest of them. That they're letting us go on our own from here, but just have to sneak in and take care of the issue.
If she is willing to accept it, I will include her in the bond as well. But she has to be willing.
You're talking about Trilla?
Mm-hmm.
Will she be able to understand us even if we're
If
speaking
she
common?
accepts it.
Interesting.
You kind of get the sense that she doesn't want to.
Okay.
She doesn't want anything to do with your magics, but is more than willing to, like, kind of help you guys out.
Yeah, he's not surprised.
The 2 other scouts get up and start walking away. Trilla stands up, starts walking, and as she does, kind of stops. Give her peace. And continues to walk away. She does this with her back towards you.
And in everyone's minds, you're going to hear Howard say, all right, for the next hour, we can all communicate like this without using our mouths.
You go with that. Party with my head.
You can do it too.
You get a haptic feedback if you speak aloud.
Ah!
Hello?
Well, sounds good to me.
Yeah, you guys are facing a layer alone. How do you proceed?
Al, I want to try something before we head in. Hold still for me. And I'm gonna try forcing fire shield onto him instead of myself with using his spell sculpting as a basis.
Right, you did this once.
Yeah.
You tried doing this once. Because it is a self spell, right?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work the first time, right?
I don't think so.
Roll an Arcana check for me at disadvantage.
Okay. $12.
12?
Mhm.
You start thinking about this and trying to re-implement it like you did the last time. But you haven't figured out the tweaks or any sort of quirks within the spell itself, and now that you're putting yourself on the line at this moment in time, you realize maybe this is the best bet.
Okay.
To try this at this moment.
Am I on fire? Nobody?
I
Okay.
don't think so.
Unless it's magical fire, we can't see it.
I think you'd feel it.
And you can normally see magical fire. That's part of the point of it.
Invisible
Not
fire.
necessarily.
Not unless it's a hydrogen fire.
Yes.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
is literally invisible fire.
Visible fire. Yeah. Oh,
It's
that's
really cool.
like what those speed racers.
I mean, there's already too much
Thank
math in
you.
D&D. Don't bring science into this now.
That's it. We're gonna Andy Weir this shit. How do you proceed?
Mm.
Team them.
Stealthily.
Yeah, I want to sneak.
Yeah.
Sneak,
Right.
sneak.
You start
No,
moving forward.
no,
I'd like
no.
everybody to make a stealth check, please. Remember, add plus
What?
10.
Plus 10.
Woo!
I don't
still
remember
have
if Pass Without a
disadvantage.
Trace is also advantage. I would think not. That would just be...
I
Yeah,
think it's
that's-
just a plus 10.
Yeah, so Pass Without a Trace is plus 10.
Ooh,
I needed that.
Yep.
yeah, it's a good thing.
Okay, so, Howard,
24.
Diamondback,
19.
Beatrice.
18.
Nice. Halsterian.
30.
Damn!
Nice.
Halsterian seems to
Faustina.
have... he just dissolves into the narrative, never to be seen again. Yimmer.
Where did Hal go?
Dirty 20.
30-20. And Spleen.
30 as well.
30 as well.
Mhm.
They've both
Halsterian, you feel
disappeared into the
Spleen's hands
bubble.
on your butts and trying to think. You're trying to sneak away. They're fresh tiefling bunions.
Time to play one of my favorite in the dark games. Who's grabbing my ass?
Moving forward, you start heading in deeper than this layer. And there seems to be very much a mix between a mix between like the snow normal trees now and the overgrown fey stuff. It seems to be more subdued at this point, kind of as if there's a natural balance that it happens. You head on forward, you start weaving in, and you realize that this place is almost like a maze without any sort of real direction. You start coming into cross sections, key paths, crossroads, Y intersections, going left and right. I'd like for you guys to make survival checks, please.
It's better.
Ooh.
It's the highest I've rolled all night.
Can't say the same.
Okay. Howard,
16.
Diamondback,
17.
Beatrice,
11.
Halsterian,
7.
Yimmer,
This was survival, you said?
Survival,
15.
Spleen.
19.
Oh, for a second I thought you were going to say 82.
What the?
Collectively, you all feel like you're lost, but also collectively feel very secure because of the markings and how the shadows are holding you up and in. You get a sense of just almost kind of like a security moving through until one of you starts hearing just a cry on the wind. It's very faint, and it sounds like a woman, and it's almost like a cry of pain. You easily pinpoint the direction that this is coming from, and you start following it forward. It leads the way the trees that are coming up and in the natural path kind of leads through, and it gets from large to very small very quickly. So for those who are trying not to desperately disturb any of the foliage, you're kind of like sucking in the gut and squeezing right through, and opens right back up again. You don't feel as if you're being watched anymore. The sound starts getting louder and louder, and it's definitely the sound of a woman. Eventually, you guys get yourselves, I would like for you to get into roll 20, please.
Ew.
Quick save happens, boss music starts playing.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Why did the
it
game
is.
just
It
say
is.
You find yourself
cool.
within a central convergence of what seemingly all these paths have led to. You notice that there's a central point of lavender and pinks, almost kind of like a swirling cacophony of leaves, petals, and other seemingly unknown anything in there, just swirling. At this point, you see what looks to be this Spriggan kind of walking towards the loud sound of this woman. You see this woman that is on her back and she's screaming. You recognize that she's pregnant. Which at this point, you guys still move in. You get the sense that this Spriggan hasn't is not aware of your presence yet. What do you do?
I'm gonna be ready to cast a spell. I'm gonna be right next to Hal and be ready to cast a spell on him as soon as someone alerts makes our presence known.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna think in my head to him, Hal, I know magic hasn't been super easy for you I'm gonna take care of that for you.
Thank you. It's been a burden isn't the right word, but thank you. I appreciate it. But I am going to move closer.
You guys should be able to control your pogs as well, so you can set yourself up into a general positioning.
Yeah. I'm gonna telepath out. I think I can get that woman out of there. But I'm gonna need to run like hell.
On your mark.
All right.
Is that just our plan then, to get this woman out and leave the Spriggan?
I would say if you're like, you still have the element of surprise, but if you move a little too much, all I'm gonna say is you're more than likely going to startle this thing.
All
Get
right.
her out of harm's way, not necessarily out of the area.
I'd like to see if I could sneak in about here.
Okay.
Rather about here.
Make another stealth check, please.
All right.
Pass without a trace is 10 minutes, right?
Yeah. That's another 19.
Cool. So, like, at this point, pass without a trace would almost be, like, right at the end of it. So I'd say this would probably be your last round with it.
All right. So I do what I can to sneak to about there.
Okay. Cool. Do that. As you're like sneakily running by, you see that this Spriggan is like standing over this woman and almost in like a caretaker kind of stance and fashion, kind of like you see like the giant claw that had done some damage to you, like just kind of like brush away gently, like the hair as this woman is screaming. And this woman looks very visibly concerned. She's shorter looking, red hair, huge belly, and just huge belly, very small face, and nice button nose. That being said, she's obviously distracted. Just like breathing and doing this thing. There's visible concern from this creature that had outright attacked all.
No more redheads allowed. Steel wind strike.
I kind of telepath back to the crew. It ain't hurting her. I mean, it looks like it's trying to give her comfort.
And this is the one that we saw before, right?
Yeah, it looks generally the same. Like, I mean, you guys kind of didn't get a very good look at a thing that was consistently attacking you. Yeah, you could see it, but did you really notice details?
That's true. Not to mention, a lot of us were in darkness a lot of the time, or covered by insects, or it was vanished into the terrain.
All right, who else is doing what?
Let's see.
Yimmer would try and go over to where Diamondback is, as well as have his magic dagger ready.
Okay. Make a stealth check, please.
Still pass without
Yes,
trace?
this will be the last time you use pass.
Oh, baby. 33.
3.
Nice.
You start heading on over.
Hey.
Is Spleen sticking next to us?
Yeah, I was. Well, I'm gonna flank from the other side.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Pass. One more stealth check.
Okay. Let's see that. 24.
Cool. As you step right about here, you step right onto a twig. As that happens, you see this brigand look up and over and looks directly at you, Spleen. I'd like you all to roll for initiative.
Oh shit!
Damn. At a 20.
Even with a
That's good.
24.
That thing ain't playing no games.
See.
Okay. So then this is what we're gonna do here. Oh jeez.
Ranged.
Okay, so 25 to 20. Diamondback.
21.
1. Cool.
Oh, please tell me you rolled low.
What's your dex?
My dex is +3, or 16.
Oh no.
Rollies.
D20?
D20.
I guess I know where the
5.
Cool.
that's
Okay, 20 to 15. Cool. 15 to 10. Okay, what do you got?
14.
10.
Don't you have advantage on initiative, Spleen?
Yeah, I rolled the same number twice.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
you will have this number.
10 to 5.
9.
6.
Man. Wow.
Okay,
I
so
rolled a 3 twice.
8 is B, 9 is Howard, 6 is Spern.
Yarp.
Spern. Okay, that being said, with the surprise round over, Spleen, you look up and realize, oh, you are deadlocked within this thing's eyes. It starts looking up and around. Diamondback, you're up first.
You say it was a surprise round?
No, the surprise round is over because, like, unless you guys had something planned to fire off, it's either now or never because this thing just noticed that somebody else is in this woad.
Oh, would I have a chance to cast what I wanted to cast on Hal then?
Which was what?
Dragon's Breath.
Yeah, you would have been able to do that.
Well then, Steve, Halsterin, you have 5th level Dragon's Breath or Fire Breath on you.
Damn.
Yeah.
Burn, baby, burn.
Alright.
All right, then.
But it will hit anything in that cone of 15 feet. I cannot sculpt a transmutation spell.
Right.
Okay, so with that being said, yeah. So Diamondback,
Alright.
or anybody else want another thing? Because Beatrice, you didn't really set any prep up.
Yeah, I mean, B was just kind of floating in the back, waiting to see what was going to happen, so.
Okay, so that's fine. Then I guess that's everybody who set themselves up. Okay, Diamondback, go.
Alright. Loot's out. And I just kind of like play as soft a melody as I can, and I whisper in Elvish into this thing's head. I know you're hurting. And I know somewhere inside you don't want to cause any more hurt. Back off. Let us give you peace. And I'm gonna rock a 3rd level Dissonant Whispers on it.
Ooh. I gotta make a save on that one.
Yep, that is a DC 17 Wisdom save.
Where's my big boy die? The rest of my dies have been failing me lately. That's a 22.
Yep, that'll end. So it takes 10 psychic damage and does not feel compelled to run away from me. So that's that plan out the window.
Second damage. Here we go.
1 ruler. And I'm gonna 5, 10, 15, 20. So I kind of move around the kind of behind the rock to try and break line of sight.
Okay. All right, you do that. That's your turn.
That's my turn.
Bonus action. No bonus action.
Not right now. No.
Right on. Brigand's turn. Feeling the pressure of the song or the whisper, the folk song that you just sang at it. Within its mind, you realize it like kind of almost primally, instinctively, just like starting to look out and around, moves up and past to like make up a barrier between like right about there, holding itself. As that happens, you notice that the bark on this thing turned from like a very like dark brown. It starts turning into white, almost like you start realizing, oh shit, her bark is turning into birch bark, just being overlaid with a lot of that peeling nature. As she does that, looks out and around, takes out one of her trinkets, places it right on her chest, and as that happens, you start seeing what looks to be like little visages of the bark just shifting and twisting, just looks up, out and around. That's his turn. That's his turn. Hal, you are up. Yimmer, you're on deck.
Hal is going to actually try diplomacy first. I'll move out to about here and shout in Sylvan, "Wait, please! We see that there's something different about you. Your sisters sent us. See if we could help get you some peace. We see that you're being nurturing to this person here. We want to, if we can, assist. Both of you."
Make a persuasion check. I would say no. No, just a persuasion check.
11.
11? All right. You step out, you say these words, her eyes kind of twitch, and visage of this form now covered in this birch barking, kind of looks over at you and like still instinctively like puts herself into an attack position. You're not too sure if it reached her or not. I'm also going to do this. I'm going to roll a d4. In one round, Something is going to happen.
Oh boy.
Fun.
Insight check.
You can't insight check me. I'm the DM. Is that your turn, Halsterian?
I'm going to try and do. That's not gonna work either. Blah, 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 blah.
I have Disco Inferno in my head for some reason.
All right, Hal, come on. What are you doing?
That was burn.
You got about 15 seconds before I move on.
All right, I'll cave and be. We will defend ourselves if we need to, and I will try the Cloak of Flies again.
Cloak of Flies? Okay. And that's just around yourself, right?
Yes, but the next time I go, I'll have advantage to at least try to intimidate her.
Okay, cool. That's your turn. That's that. Yimmer.
So, Cloak of Flies, is there like a radius for that?
It's
Yeah,
5
it's
foot.
yeah.
5 foot radius from.
Okay. So,
But-
Yimmer's gonna just kind of poke
Oh,
out
there.
without getting too close, so that can get line of sight, and it's gonna reach into his pocket and pull out a slightly heftier splinter and just kind of dart it at the Strigan. One of those
And that's-
underhanded dart throws.
That's Mind Sliver.
Yes, Mind Sliver, intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence saving throw. Okay.
DC 15. Come
That'll be a 16.
You're no fun. Straight up. I don't think anything happens.
No?
Yeah, it just kind of hits them and, actually, no, maybe the damage does happen. You drive a
Spell?
disorienting spike of psychic energy into the mind of one creature you can see within range. The target must succeed on an intelligence saving throw or take 1d6 psychic damage. Okay, yeah, no damage.
Or take the damage, yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's
And
you're done
he's
your movement.
gonna-
Bonus action?
Oh, he's moving back behind the rock.
Right away!
Just kind of, he just kind of poked out, threw a stick at it.
Yeah, you basically did that. You see that Halsterian's just like, we want to give you peace. We want to do all these things. Here's the thing out. Well, it looks like diplomacy's out. You run out. Hits the ground just before. You really got to work on your aim with that thing.
I swear it'll work one day.
It really hasn't worked, has it?
It has not worked once.
Buddy!
No.
Oh,
And that's
That
what
being-
my entire thing is built around.
that being said, you're like, well, shit, back behind the rock. You
And
know.
we just reset the no cursing timer.
Crap!
Howard,
Oh,
Beatrice, you're up next.
We made it 3 whole
Okay.
minutes.
I didn't even
Um,
notice that.
Wait, we had a no curse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you
What?
guys were talking, so I didn't say anything yet.
Why didn't you say anything?
Because y'all were doing turns. Now I
Boople
forgot
Snoot.
what I was gonna do with my turn. We're gonna. Well, screw. We're gonna cast Fire Shield on myself. And make our way over to here. 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. That's my turn.
Alrighty. Beatrice, you're up. Spleen, you're on deck.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be just in everybody's minds. Are we trying to be friendly? But she's just gonna move up to beside Yem, and ready an attack in case the guy or the girl makes a lunge.
Yep.
And that's my turn.
Okay, Spleen, you're up.
Looking. This is kind of a bit of a stretch, but she's just gonna remember the reactions of the dryads when she brought out Bree, and then looking at the pregnant mother and looking at this brigand, she's going to take out Bree and be like, and yell to Hal and be like, translate! I'm a mom too! This is my baby! We come in peace.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Let's see how I do with this.
Mom
Okay.
too.
Come on. No, I'm gonna do my pink one. Hold on, I'm gonna do my pink dice because pink baby cuteness.
In pink area.
So I don't have a modifier for this, but I got a natural 20.
Oh.
Or a 20. I do not have a
Hooray,
modifier
20.
for persuasion. The power of Bree compels you!
The little baby crocodile. Look at her. She's fucking cute. As you're holding Bree out, coming closer and towards, you see this friggin' kind of start realizing that it's somewhat getting surrounded. Just looking back and forth. Step. Kind of makes like a half step back, doesn't actually move, but just for the sake of the role play, makes a step back, looks at Bree, and like even though you can't really see features on the face, you see the eyes that are still a burning red, just kind of burning red with an afterglow kind of effect going in it. Look over at Bree, and you like it's specific that you know that she sees it.
Mm-hmm.
That she sees her.
But I'm keeping a protective firm hold on Bree. I'm ready if it lunges to protect Bree with my body.
Yeah. You get the sense that because I'm just gonna roll this in with a natural 20, because you get the sense that this thing is just very much in a defensive stance right now.
Yeah.
It almost feels hair trigger at this point. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't
Good.
move any closer.
Okay. Back. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. You hear the woman, like, not crying out in pain, but just kind of like, "Hurt! Hurt! Hurt! Hurt!" Just that. You hear that. It's that Diamondback, you're up.
All right. So, gonna run to about here, and I'm gonna shoot a message over to the woman. Hey, miss, know you're in a bit of a state right now, so I'll keep this quick. Name's Diamondback. We're here to help. Has this creature hurt you? Do you want to get out of here? And cast message. That goes on in the head too. Fantastic.
You get actually. You take 3 psychic damage from the haptic feed. Actually, the rest of you take that because it's mind thought too.
Oh no!
You basically all just get the same noise, or like when the security people get that loud feedback noise, everybody's just zing.
Yeah. Right then. And I'm just going to use the rest of my movement to kind of hop behind the rock.
Cool. That.
Damn it. There we are. That is me.
Right. With that, it's the Spriggan's turn. You see that, like, she noticed that you moved from one rock to the other. So at that point, she's going to take a step back and almost standing over top of this woman in a still very much a protective stance. Holding eye contact, like just frantically looking back and forth. Back and forth, just waiting. That. Halsterin, sorry. Turn.
Well, at this point, I'm going to be dropping Cloak of Flies.
Yeah, Yimmer, you're on deck. Sorry. You're dropping Cloak of Flies, so now the...
Yeah, I see that there's more to this than combat has to involve. And I don't move forward, but I reach into my pack and get the lucky charm that Bryony gave me and hold it out with both hands.
I don't remember what that looks like.
It was like a druid crafted friendship bracelet, but I can't remember the exact description.
See, this is why it's nice making notes of the items that way.
Yeah, I just have that it's hand-carved lucky charm.
There you go. Okay, so then it's probably within like a druidic symbol of I think she was a forest? So it's this really rudimentary carved totem, like little token of friendship and affection that she had carved out, and you hold it out to show the Spriggan. Hold it out to show the Spriggan, and this thing, it looks at it. I would like for you to make, well, what are you trying to do? Persuade? What?
I suppose persuade, yeah.
Okay, make a persuasion.
Yes, she was Circle of the Land.
Oh, come on. A total of 9.
Okay. That you see that there is a pretty much like a recognition of kind of like the symbology there. There's almost like an interconnectedness, but again, back and forth, just looking, waiting.
Everyone, and I suppose that other than just talking, it'll be my turn, but I'll be calling out, I guess, in my head. Everyone, try and slowly make it back so we're all within her line of sight, just not, hopefully, a line of spells. I think that may make her more amicable.
Sure.
Okay, Yimmer. Beatrice, you're on deck.
Having heard,
Sorry, it would be Howard. You're on deck, not Beatrice.
So having heard Halsterian, Yimmer would ready another mind sliver, but hold it until the creature makes an aggressive move towards us.
Okay.
And I guess he would also kind of step around the rock in front of Beatrice. Just kind of poking around. I'm ready. And yeah, that's what Ymir does.
All right, Howard.
I'm
Sorry, just a quick descriptor. Yimmer, as soon as you step up and forward, recognizes that you're right there, that there's someone behind the rock. Again, frantically looking back and forth, you notice that the swirling of leaves and petals start becoming a little more wild and frantic, and very much not aggressive, but just you feel like there's a growth happening in that. Okay, Howard. Beatrice, you're on.
not gonna move anywhere, but I'm gonna say to everyone else, what? I don't. Why would she take someone and keep them alive? And what is this? It might not be best for us to let this go. And that's it.
That's your turn.
Mm-hmm.
Beatrice.
Bee's stepping forward and saying to the rest of the group, if this is the same Spriggan that's been hurting people on the road, what's not to say it did something to this woman? I don't know if we let this go either. She's stepping up.
Step up one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's stepping up to here. Come to the other side of the rock. And just got her axe drawn and ready.
As soon as you step within, the Spriggan dead eye locks on you, and there's very much an aggressive stance, as in like
Gives it right back. You wanna
And,
fuck with me, bitch? Let's fucking go.
so spleen. Sorry, Beatrice. Is that your turn then?
Yes, that's my turn. Moving up,
Spleen?
readying another action.
Um. Hmm. I want to.
By the way, you still
know-
hear this woman screaming, and she's like, ah, ah,
So,
ah!
does it have its hands on her, or
No, not at all. She's
does
on her back. She's screaming.
and she? Does it look like she's giving birth, going into labor?
Make a perception check.
Okay. Oh, that. Whoa! There's another natural 20.
My God.
Wow.
It's a 25 perception.
Given your time
Nice.
with the goblin clan, you never were a part of the midwives, but you also recognize the posturing of someone who is in labor and almost looks as if she's at the end of it.
Oh. Spleen's is going to yell out. She's a baby. The litter is coming. The litter is on the way.
The litter.
She's Stop! And I'm looking at Bree, not Bree, at B. Just kind of understanding the body language of the Spriggan.
But what kind of baby is it?
Hers. The lady.
Yeah. But that's what B's saying is what kind of baby? Is this going to be a human baby? Or will this be some mutated
Shrieking baby.
Spriggan baby? It's being very protective over this woman. For no reason.
These dryads like life more than death, apparently, so...
But why?
The dryads are pro-life. JT.
You're muted.
You hear me? I think it's good and muted. That's the end of my turn.
No,
You're not
I can't
coming
hear you.
Hello?
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yep, we can't hear you.
What?
Now he can
What?
cuss and
What?
not reset the timer.
It's over. It's
I
over.
forgot about
Hello?
the timer. Yeah, it is
Wait.
over.
Who just joined the Discord?
Tech issues. Wait,
Oh.
Discord?
You got so far without them.
disconnected.
What?
I didn't disconnect. I
Oh, you
I logged.
restarted.
I just disconnect. I was asking if that was your turn or not. I kept asking. It was like, Spleen, is that your turn? Is that your turn?
We just told them.
I wasn't sure if you were talking to someone else or what. I was like,
No,
Yeah.
I'm literally talking at you. You're not replying. I'm like, Spleen.
That is my turn. I'm yelling out that this lady is in labor.
Yes, I heard that. I could hear you guys. I don't know why.
Oh.
Okay.
And I burp as well on my turn.
As you're talking about that, all you hear is the woman.
B's looking at what kind of baby this is.
You see this. The Spriggan hears the noise, immediately turns around. You see the woman. You see the Spriggan reach for the child. Reaches up. It is a human baby. It is a human baby. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oh my god! Are we
like to
grandparents? No, grandparents. Godparents! Oh my god!
I'd like to thank everybody for staying out tonight. Chaminar, I'll see you Monday.
Chaminar.
Chaminar.
Stop, Father.
All right, Tom, you want to take us away with the ending?
Take me away.
Sure thing. Well, thank you all again so much for joining us here in Falskallan. That got interesting. Thanks again to D&D Beyond for sponsoring us. Thanks again to FX Mayberry for sponsoring us and contributing 2 amazing artists to the Dire Bear family. Hey, D&D Beyond, step up your game. And thanks, of course, to our first Adept Patreon, whose name tonight I will read as Sean Connery. Mama Bear, we're incredibly happy that you've chosen to support us in this way. Thank you so much. Remember, check out our Patreon if you'd like to hear my lovely voice reading out your name or somebody else's lovely voice reading out your name at the end of each stream. Or if you'd like to learn how I do that Sean Connery impression and apply those lessons yourself. Take some time to peruse our merch if you're still here. Check out some of the other brilliant streams on this channel as well. As always, creatures of the night will want to sink their teeth into Valley by Night, River City, a haunting tale spun in Vampire the Masquerade on Tuesday nights. Tomorrow, back from their holiday, we've got Swords, Sorcery, and Chivalry and a Knight's Ransom, a bracing adventure set in D&D 5e. And, of course, we have our new bi-weekly Monday game. If you've got a musical soul, look out for the Oops All Bard party that is Melody of the Maelstrom. Every single person in this campaign is a musician, not necessarily in the campaign, but in real life. And that is a bi-weekly show. And of course, if you'd like to get in on some of this action yourself, we do actually have a Saturday game in the works that's looking for players. So hit us on up Discord and check out the job board for that. JT, take us home.
All right. Well, with that, we've got somebody to raid. I would say we go raid. That's how we roll.
Alrighty.
Cool.
We'll do that. But I want to say, I hope you guys had fun with a lot of these interactions. Hope you dealt with the shenanigans. And I would say we're on the ass end of a pandemic, but we're still in the middle of it. And there's so many different variants and things going around. So be safe, be distant. Don't get stuck with the plague like Diamondback for the 4th time, 8th time. I've lost count at this point.
Sorry.
At this point, he's a magnet for it. So if you got a little bit of extra COVID, just send it to him. He'll take it. That being said, stay safe. I love you all. And do you dare to imagine? Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.